Hello there, I'm Neil, also known as the Hairy Man. It's been a little while since my last video, and I should have been filming a lot of videos right about now, but sadly the current situation has put paid to all of that. So people who followed my channel will know that recently I was supposed to have gone on holiday to Florida for my 50th birthday, but obviously COVID-19 had other ideas, and so that all got cancelled, and I mostly got my money back. Disney and Universal were very quick to pay it back, but I will just say that Virgin have been absolutely appalling. They won't talk to people one-to-one unless you're travelling within the next 72 hours, and even then when you ring them, all of our customer service advisors are busy, goodbye, click. So I'm still having, although they have issued me with a lovely email that says that the money that I've paid them is going to be refunded, my bank and my credit card have other ideas, so boo to them. So this is kind of like a reaction video saying, you know, just how I feel right now, and what's going on with the current situation. It's like I've still taken the 2 weeks off work because, well, what else was I going to do? And I am one of the fortunate people that is able to work from home, so I've got nothing but admiration for all of you guys that are still going out to work and keeping things running. And so I'm kind of okay with not being able to go on holiday, because it wouldn't have been much of a holiday because, you know, there'd be a lot of social distancing measures and whatever. So I'm actually feeling quite zen about it to a certain extent. It's like, yeah, I'm really annoyed because I didn't get to go and, you know, do all those kind of weird nerdy flexes. It's like, oh, I've got to build a lightsaber on May the 4th or what have you. But, you know, things are what they are at the moment, and there's not really a lot I or anyone else can do about it, and it's no use even trying to plan something now, because nobody knows when anything's going to open. It's like, yeah, Shanghai Disney has reopened, which, you know, might be a thing that says that the world is getting back to normal, but I doubt it. And from listening to a lot of the other park videos, you know, it's like, well, they'll open and then it'll be 25% capacity, and then there'll be lots of other safeguards in place, you know, maybe temperature checks go, certainly for employees going into the park, and maybe even for guests. So I don't think we're going to get back to what was considered normal prior to this pandemic crisis, and whether we ever do is a matter for debate. But I've got to look on the bright side, if there is one. So previously, a couple of my friends for Christmas got me this Saving for Disneyland jar, so at least I've got an option to fill that up a heck of a lot more, you know, maybe stay at a better hotel, or you know, do some of the after hours stuff, and just have a slightly better budget for it. So in a way that's good. Yeah, don't get to celebrate my 50th birthday, hey, but hey, if I can go there next year, maybe I can get to celebrate Disney World's 50th birthday. Hey, you know, it's all relative, and, you know, maybe some other things will be done. And it's like perhaps a rich relative that I've never heard of will die and leave me enough money so that I can actually stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser. Sorry, just distracted by a pig flying past my bedroom window. Right. So, what has lockdown really meant for me? Actually, not a lot. As kind of an introverted person, I didn't really go out much, and to be fair, I think that, you know, contrary to a lot of people, because I like to sort of like push in the opposite direction, and I think that this crisis has actually improved my mental health. And I think one of the reasons for that is a lot of the time, if you're maybe shy or introverted, you're not going to be able to perhaps fit in as well as you might want to. You might find talking in social situations awkward, or any number of things. And I think one of the things that does prey on a lot of minds is when you see other people enjoying stuff that you feel that you can't. That's kind of negative for you. And you know, there's a bit of a trendy phrase going around at the moment: FOMO, the fear of missing out. So certainly for me at the moment, there are things. It's like I don't feel I can be as involved in certain aspects of LARP, for example. LARP, for those of you that don't watch all of the things on my channel or whatever, stands for live action role play. So it's kind of like dressing up and playing D&D kind of thing. And so, you know, I see lots of people getting sort of like really involved in stuff, and sort of like having, for a given value of fun, a lot more fun than I'm having. And you know, you can't help but be envious for those people that have maybe got slightly better social skills than you, or aren't maybe as shy, or perhaps you know, people who are to give another phrase that gets bandied around a lot, neurotypical. Also, you know, people that don't have say autism spectrum traits, or maybe that are just depressed, don't have confidence, or for whatever, of a myriad of reasons. And so, you know, you get that fear of missing out at the time, and then afterwards, when you start to see things coming up on social media, you get to see a whole lot of stuff. So you see people going, "Oh, it was amazing when I did this," or my group did that," and it's like, and then you see sort of like lists of people getting tagged. It was great. It was great when Gordon Goblin Biter came into my group, and you know, he came with us on a quest, and it was so much fun because he did this and that, and you know, maybe you feel a bit left out of that. But now with this whole thing, I mean, it sucks that a lot of games are getting cancelled, but again, you've got to be sensible about it and go, well, you know, gathering 2,000 people or in a field with minimal access to hygiene facilities is not a recipe for keeping the disease under control. So there's that. So it's cancelled, and you know, I really hope that a lot of the people that make their living out of LARP and LARP related stuff are not being too badly affected for it. So, you know, if you can, please support these people, because you know, it's their livelihood, and if they go out of business because of this, then you're not going to have so many sort of like craftspeople to make stuff for you. So what I would say is, if you're not able to go to an event, maybe you could put the money that you would have spent, and you know, if you can afford it, maybe use this as an opportunity to upgrade your personal kit. Maybe get that piece of costume that you'd love to have but weren't able to justify because you couldn't afford that on top of the game. So now's maybe a good time to do that, because I've got a lot of friends who work in these creative industries, and a lot of their income comes from being at these events and having stalls. So if you can support them, please do. So, bit of a tangent there off to one side. So, I think because now all of us are in the same boat, we're all stuck at home, either on our own or with our families. Everybody is in that same situation. So, because nobody is getting to go to things and enjoy themselves, you don't really get that fear of missing out. You know, you don't get that sort of like envy. And one of the other things is, oddly now, obviously you can see from like all the RPG stuff behind me that I'm really into my role playing. Now, because everybody's stuck at home and you know your life is not the social world that it used to be, you know, you're not having to go out a couple of nights a week to take your kids to underwater karate or sort of like blindfolded cooking or whatever activities your children are into. So you're not having to do that. You're not getting the opportunity to sort of like go to your Pilates class or whatever, because it's all been cancelled because you can't get everybody into the same space and socially distance. So what has happened is I found that a whole bunch of my friends who really love to role play, but you know, we always say the same thing. It's like, oh, we never get a chance. It's all so difficult to get together. It's like, you know, it's really difficult to juggle your schedule or to get everybody in the same place at the same time. We've suddenly found that using digital platforms, we're able to get together and play, which in the short term is really great, because now I haven't played as much like role-playing games, which for me is Dungeons and Dragons, but you know, I've pretty much played most of the RPG stuff out there, but the one we always come back to is D&D. I'm playing more D&D now probably than at any other time in my life since I was at secondary school. And you know, conversely, it gets back to, well, don't have a lot on and it's easy to schedule a lot of times. So now I run a game every Wednesday night, I play in a game every Sunday night, and I have 2 other games that I run on an ad hoc basis. So thanks to online platforms, the current one that we're using is the Roll20 platform, but there's plenty of others that are available, like Virtual Tabletop or trying to think of the other one. It will come to me in a minute. And we're using D&D Beyond to get our characters, and you know, there's all Fantasy Grounds. That was the other one. See, I told you I'd remember it if I just sort of like clear my mind and not concentrate on it. So we're using things like D&D Beyond to keep track of our characters, and you know, we're quite fortunate that one of the people that plays with us has got like the full subscription and allows them to share content, and so they're sharing content so that we can use stuff. But you know, even if you're just doing really basic stuff out of the system resource document, and it's really good, and you can do it. It's most of the stuff you can do theatre of the mind. It's only really combat where these virtual tabletops really come into their own. and because it's the maps, and I think that the virtual tabletop thing is a bit of a game changer, actually, to the extent that I might actually use it when this crisis is over and just sort of like go, right, rather than having to get like a battle mat or whatever and start drawing out, and it takes a long time because you're sitting there looking at your map book and you're going, okay, right, so this room is 5, 10, 15, 20 feet wide by 15 feet, and then there's an exit there, and there's an exit there, and then you're having to look through your miniatures box and go, right, okay, I need 6 goblins. It's like, okay, I don't have 6 goblins, so it's 4 goblins and 2 kobolds, olds, whatever, and then physically put stuff down. I mean, it runs counterintuitive because I have a huge collection of miniatures, and during this off period I've been making loads of miniature terrain and buildings that I can't use in the current climate. But, oh, the irony. So, I think that that'll be a game changer, particularly with the ability to go, oh, everybody's got a huge screen TV, I'll just go and flip the map up onto the TV, and, you know, for someone with a love of food, well, it's not necessarily a love of food, it's the fact that I eat more calories than I burn, therefore I am large. It means there's more room for snacks on the table, and you don't have to worry about spilling stuff on your battle mat. But yeah, I think it's good that we can get together and play. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a crash because, as you know, that as soon as we get let out to play again, and perhaps the virtual gaming with your friends is going to go by the wayside as people are able to go to the pub on a Friday night, or go out for a meal with their family, they get back to doing whatever sports and stuff they like doing. And whereas someone like myself, who doesn't really get out much because I'm Billy No Mates, I say that I have plenty of friends. It's just we're scattered all over the place, and it's difficult to get together. Hence why this virtual stuff has taken off like nobody's business. But it's really whatever you want to make of it. It's like all of these people are going, well, you know, I'm catching up on people. I'm using Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp to video call people. Well, it's relatively easy to incorporate that into your hobbies. Maybe play some virtual board games. And it's like rediscovered Lords of Waterdeep, which is quite a fun game to play. It's good because it's something that you know that you can squeeze in, because it's like, right, every game is only X rounds long. I think it's 8. So you can go, right, okay, it will only take a maximum of that. So, you know, we only have to be online for this amount of time to get a game in. So, I hope that you guys are all following the social distancing rules as incomprehensible as our Prime Minister has made them. I'm now having to dress like a ninja every time I go out shopping. Although I suppose I could just do that and call it a face mask, but doesn't really block a lot. But one of my friends did give me a very helpful analogy. It's like, imagine you're outside and everyone's naked. Well, that's going to put me off going outside for a start. But this is sort of like why face covering is not a protection for you, it's a protection for other people. It's like, so imagine you go outside, everybody's naked, and somebody decides that they're going to piss on you. Yeah, I know, some people pay for that. but you're going to get wet. Now imagine you're wearing trousers and the naked person takes a piss on you. You're still going to get wet. But if everybody wears trousers, then it's only them that gets wet. Kind of gross analogy, but it kind of works. It's like, so me dressing up like a ninja isn't to protect myself, because cloth mask isn't necessarily going to stop the virus getting onto me, but it will stop me coughing and sneezing and putting all kinds of infectious stuff, if I have them, which I don't think I have, onto you. So, yeah, protect yourself, protect others. Hope we get through this, because I'm running out of space in the jar if I keep putting money in it. And let's face it, it's like, I think most of us are saving money during this, because, you know, it's like, other than sort of like a weekly trip to the shop, I'm not going anywhere. You know, you're not having to put stuff in your car. You're not having to pay your train fares if you're working from home. And again, if you are one of the people that has to go out to work, again, thank you so much for doing stuff for us, for keeping the country running. And all of those unskilled workers in shops and what have you, who then all of a sudden we found out that they are actually vital. So thanks a lot. Stay safe. Be alert. Control the virus. Save lives.